welcome in. I'm so excited you wanted to join today in chatting about what it's like becoming a new real estate agent. So whether you're just curious, or maybe you are a new real estate agent, or you're thinking about becoming a real estate agent, but you're not really sure what you're getting into, I created this today just for you. So I just got my license about a month ago, and you may be surprised, but I have not had a transaction yet. So often in real estate, it takes time, right? It's in all things. You've got to plant the seeds now, and what you're working on now, you might harvest and see in maybe 45 to 90 days. That's ultimately what you have to be ready for as a new real estate agent. So what should you be doing? You've got your license, now what? Well, first things first is grab some swag. You might want to get some business cards. Hopefully you have joined with a brokerage that actually offers free business cards, maybe even some free folders, other different freebies for you as well. Make sure you grab those because you want to be giving everyone your contact information. You want everyone to know that you're a real estate agent now, and you want to be passing them out. So make sure you've got business cards at least. The second thing I would suggest is potentially getting some open house signs. So what you want to be spending your time in now is getting in front of people, and that can look so many different ways. Oftentimes you're working your sphere of influence, which are your friends, your family, friends of friends, other people that you know. You want to constantly be in contact with them. But what about people you don't know? One thing you can be doing is hosting open houses for other real estate agents. So if they're in your brokerage as well, you can actually sit open houses for them. Normally, it seems that people who are in a constant stream of business, they don't actually want to be doing open houses on their own. And so they're actually looking for other agents to host them. And that's great for you because it's a way to get in front of more people that you do not know. So if you're going to use that tactic, get some open house signs. I totally had a huge fail, but every failure is a learning in this business and in all business. But I hosted an open house and I got there and I was like, oh my God, I have no open house signs. How are people even going to know this is happening? It was also in an apartment complex where you had to call in to get let in. So I hand wrote a note and stuck it to the door using Band-Aids. So save yourself the flop like I did, grab some open house signs and make sure that you have them ready because you want to be hosting open houses for other agents. So first thing, get your swag. Then two, get in front of people, right? So that's the biggest thing that you want to be, whether you're hosting parties or getting together with people just for coffee, for lunches, any reason that you possibly can, you want to be spending time with people. You want to be in other people's faces so that they're constantly thinking of you as a real estate agent. So maybe you're with a girlfriend meeting for coffee and she's like, oh, so-and-so needs a house. Let me refer you. And you want to be top of mind as real estate agent now for everyone. So make sure that you're spending time with people. It gets really easy to stay home and doing other trainings and things like that, but you want to get out. And what is most important in getting in front of people is tracking it. So you'll find that you want your data to become quantifiable, right? So let's say your goal is to close 12 transactions in your first year. If you can start to track all the interactions that you have, so let's say you are talking to 5 people a day, you're writing down those 5 people, where they came from, and then you're adding that up, let's say over a month, and you've now talked to 100 people in 1 month and you've got 1 lead, and that's not your transaction. That's not your business yet, right? So that is a lead. So you've got 1 lead from 100 people. Now you're like, okay, I've got my lead. I got that information. And you keep following it. When do you get a transaction? When did that transaction come from? How many leads did you have to get 1 transaction? And then you work from there. So let's say it took 100 people to get 1 transaction. Now, you know, in order to close your 12 transactions, which is your goal, right? Your goal of 12, you actually have to talk to 1,200 people. And that can feel like a lot as a new agent. You can feel like, oh my goodness, where are these 100 people going to come from? I have no idea what to do. You break it down. That's the reason I'm saying 5 contacts a day, because you want something that is manageable for you. If you're like, okay, 1,200 people in a year, let me break that down. How many people is that a month? How many people is that a week? How many people is that a day? for 5 days of the week. So I usually try to go for 5 days a week because I also am a mom and I have kids at home and a family and a wife, and I want to make sure that I'm giving time to my family as well. So if you can create it so that if you're hitting your target in 5 days, then anything above that is just cherry on top. So do not forget to track how many people you're talking to, where those are coming from. Keep track of it to hold yourself accountable. And then you can see in your first year of business, if you're keeping track of it, did you hit your goal? If you hit your goal, is it because you kept track of how many people you talked to, how many leads you had? It makes a very, very big difference. So just starting out, make sure you're tracking how many people you're talking to. Make sure you're setting a goal. I would definitely suggest 5 people a day because it's all a power of numbers. You want to talk to as many people as possible. Now, let's say you just moved to a new city and you don't have a lot of contacts. Who are you going to talk to? You've got to get creative. So one thing, there are apps everywhere. A lot of people are selling you leads, but maybe you don't have the money. If you don't have the money yet, it's all about investing time. Okay. So pick an avenue. Right now, maybe you want to focus on renters. So your goal is to pick a neighborhood, maybe a 1 or 2 or 3 zip codes. You want to find all of the people that are renting. Now, I use the HomeSnap app. So when I became a registered agent, HomeSnap actually offered $99 for your first year. And in HomeSnap, you can actually pull up that data of homes that are being rented. So then maybe you're going to write a postcard or just a handwritten note is also really great as well. Just that could be 5 a day. You write 5 notes a day to people who are renting in your area. Another thing that you maybe don't know is possible is reach out to other title companies or other companies, lending companies that maybe also can pull information of the actual homeowner that the renters are in. And then you can send them a separate thing. Oh, okay. So I want to help these people maybe sell their home because the appreciation of their home has increased so much. Maybe now they want to sell. So you're really targeting on who you're talking to. So maybe just renters or absentee owners. That is like your niche. Another thing you could target is people with a lot of equity in their home. Again, you want to have a system. How are you going to find the people with the amount of equity? HomeSnap does offer that. You can reach out to title companies or other referrals, people that you're using. They can pull that information for you and you may not know that. So then you contact them. Maybe it is a handwritten letter. Maybe then it becomes a phone call and then a knock on the door. You want to make sure it's going to take a lot of touches. And so you've got to be tracking them. What day did you send the letter? When are you going to follow up with a phone call? When are you going to follow up with knocking on the door? Don't be afraid to do these things. Yes, social media is awesome. And if you love social media, absolutely be on social media as well. It's a great way to share what you're doing. Again, so people see that you are the agent. They know to refer to you. But it's a building game, you guys. My mentor always says it's a marathon, not a sprint. So you have to think of it as a long-term process. If you're only going to send out one mailer, odds are you're not going to get reward from that. If you're farming an area, which means you're trying to focus on just being the realtor in one area, maybe your neighborhood, you want to be the realtor of choice in that neighborhood, it can take 12 to 14 months to even see any return on that. So you've got to be committed. Know what to expect going into it. It's not going to happen overnight and you have to have a plan. So get your swag, touch as many people as possible, keep track of the people that you are touching, right? And have a plan. Have a plan. The other thing that I would say, depending on when you're starting, is get to know your systems. You want to be able to duplicate it every single transaction, every single time. When someone calls you after they've received your mailer and got your phone call and they're like, you know what? Yeah, I do want to sell my house with you. Have a plan, right? You want to have a plan and system in place so that way you're not reinventing the wheel every single time. It's super, super important as you're getting started to create those systems when you have the time, when you're not running around with a lot of clients. Create systems, help yourself out in the future. They do take time, and it takes time to learn your CRM. Maybe your brokerage has a place that you all go in and connect together. It takes time to learn these things. So while you're home now and while you're fitting it maybe in the cracks of your life, if you have another job, get to know those systems and create it so it just becomes a little bit more seamless, a little bit easier for you. And then lastly, I want to focus on mindset. So I actually come from network marketing, and I really truly believe that network marketing led me to here and prepared me for this because it's all mindset. If you think that you're not going to have leads, you're not going to have business, you're not going to be successful, you're right. I cannot remember who said, whether you think you can or can't, you're right. So what you focus on, what you draw your attention to, you get more of. And so it's really, really important that you are doing mindset work, that you are training your mind to attract business to you, to attract clients to you, and that you don't get down in the dumps when you don't have a transaction in your first 3 months or your first, I don't know, maybe it takes 6 months. If you don't have a transaction in your first 6 months, you don't need to get down and out on it. You can stay the course and keep planting seeds, keep reaching more and more people, keep building on your system so that when they come, it just boom, it flourishes right in front of you. So don't give up. Work on your mindset. Make sure you're focused on abundance and creating that for yourself. But be smart. This is a business. This is a business. You've got to keep track of what you're doing. Keep track of your money, the money going out, which is what's happening a lot at first. But if you can, spend your time here, getting to contact people, getting in front of people, learning the systems, creating your systems, and just focusing on your mindset. So I hope this is helpful for you, new agents. Focus on just a couple things. Do not get overwhelmed with all of the water hose of information that's coming at you. Pick 3 things, focus on them, master them, see if they're working, and reevaluate in 3 months. If you don't have a lead, hey, maybe that renter game's not working for you. Switch it up, try something else. Don't wait a whole year before evaluating what you're doing to make sure it's working and make sure it's paying you back. So, all right, you guys, if you have any buying or selling needs in the Northern Virginia area, I hope you'll contact me. I am super excited to work with you. And even if you just have questions about what it's like becoming a new agent, if you're interested in becoming a new agent or you have just gotten your license, please reach out, send me a message. I'm always here and I'm happy to help. So have an awesome day, guys.